What's going on, Internet? This is EDC Gear Guy. Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be talking about the new GSM Cold Steel Recon 1 XL. Now, the Recon 1 XL was made by the Lynn Thompson Cold Steel Company, founded in 1980 by Lynn Thompson himself, and he sold the company in 2019. GSM Outdoors took control of it in 2020. And they no longer made the Recon 1 XL. So people were pretty upset because Recon 1 XL is awesome. And they became very sought after. I happen to be one of the luckier people on planet Earth that has one of the originals. Obviously the Tonto fully serrated version, which, as you can see, is sporting a pocket wave, a Snaggletooth MF pocket wave, because this is one of my most carried self-defense knives. But they did make this back in the day in clip point, and I don't think there was a drop point, but I think there was a clip point, and there was, obviously Tonto serrated and non-serrated. But you can see there's some subtle differences here. But anyway, this went away, and everybody cried the blues, and they've been complaining enough. This year they brought back the XL, only in clip point. But this is a big knife, people. So we're looking at a total, well, the blade is 5.5 if you go from tip to the lowest point here. The total length is a foot exactly, 12 inches. And it is, it's big. This is much bigger than 99% or 99.99% of other folding knives. Really, the only folding knives that are around the same size there's a few that are not cold steel, but most of them are going to be cold steel. So you got total of a foot, blade is 5.5. Let's see what we got for stock thickness. I believe 3.4. Yeah. 3.4 millimeters, so not super thick for how big it is. You think the thing would be chunky as hell, but it's not. It's a very svelte blade, but it's a very big and tall blade. I mean, how tall is this thing from top to bottom? 1 5/8. So overall, just a big folding knife. Too big for most people, but again, you're not looking at it's not as thick as you think. 13 millimeters total for the handle. That's really not that thick, man. I mean, considering how big the knife is. And you're going to be surprised at what it weighs, too. So for all you non-Americans, the Recon 1 XL weighs 226 grams, which is going to be 8 ounces. Yes. So 8 ounces for a 12-inch folding knife? That's pretty wild, man. It really is. So let's do some size comparisons, right? I mean, there's, like I said, cold steel is the closest thing you can come to for a size comparison. But I got a couple here that are larger. How about the Boker Kalashnikov? Considered to be a very big knife. Yeah, not so big next to this. Now, my camera's directly above this surface here. So what you see is what you get. There's no, weird angle that's going to cause one knife to look bigger than it should be or smaller than it should be. So you can see, Kalashnikov, large knife. Recon 1, very large knife. How about, here we go. How about the Ritual? Also considered to be a large knife. Pretty much dwarfed by the Recon 1 XL. Here's another one that's considered to be very big. The Proponent. Artisan Cutlery Proponent. Way thicker. How much thicker the blade is on the... way thicker. How much thicker the handle is on the Proponent. You don't really notice it until you line them up. Look at that shit, man. Proponent is a ridiculously overbuilt knife. And then they made it a liner lock. Come on, man. At least make it a lockback or something. So, really very, very few knives that are the same size. But here's one. At least the same length. And that is the Kershaw Strata. Exactly the same size. 5.5-inch blade, overall 12 inches. This is actually my gentleman's large carry. Like when I go to the Christmas party, company Christmas party, that kind of thing, this will go in my right front pocket of my dress slacks. I know, I'm ridiculous. So the materials, this is made of, the blade is made of XHP steel. Cold steel has a really, really good history. It is also made in Taiwan, as you can see. Cold steel has a really good history of heat treating XHP steel, pretty much better than anybody else on the face of the planet. For those of you who don't know, it's about the same. It has the corrosion resistance of D2. It has the edge retention of D2. Now, keep in mind, D2 edge retention is better than S35VN edge retention. Just so you know, not much better, but a little bit better. And then this has, better toughness than D2. But considered similar to D2, just a higher quality steel. Obviously costs a lot more money as well. The scales of this are G10. It has that newer fine G10. It's actually pretty good though. It's got a nice grip to it. It's very similar to, let's say, Spyderco's G10. Like exactly the same, pretty much. You can see the old model is a much rougher G10. Much rougher G10. I do prefer the old stuff better, but most people, I believe they got rid of it because all the pearl clutching weenies would cry about their pockets getting shredded. People, you want to just lose your knife? You want it to fall out of your pocket? Is that what it is? Especially a big one like this. What happens when you go and sit back in a lazy boy chair at your friend's house and your big ass knife slips out of your pocket, or your little knife slips out of your pocket? People don't think of these things. This is a knife that's meant to be used. It's meant, you want to make sure it's there. So speaking of, you got a classic cold steel pocket clip. Sixes all the way around. Size 6 Torx T6s and a 10 for the pivot. 6s in here, and this is a really stout, very strong clip. I love cold steel clips. A lot of people complain about them. The one thing I don't like, that everybody doesn't like, is that each side of the knife requires its own clip. So you get 2 clips in every knife box. It just creates a situation where you can lose a clip. But it is what it is. Very, very tough coating on that. I did scratch it to test it out. You can see where I scratched it. Definitely not the same coating as the knife blade. I'm assuming it's their old school kind of tough paint coating that they used to use. It has the washers on the inside are classic cold steel. You have bronze against the scales, and then sandwiched between the scales and the blade on both sides is a Teflon washer, creating a really, really smooth operation. I mean, you can, of course, it doesn't flick all the way out when I'm on camera. It's hard. It's weird at this angle, but it's very smooth. Unlike this thing when I got it, not very smooth. I mean, it was ridiculous. And that's because of this coating on the blade. So this is a PVD coating that is very tough. In fact, I tried scratching this one up here with a Spyderco knife that was G10, and it didn't do anything to it. I was digging in it pretty good. When I saw the video of this and the pictures of it online, I was a little bit upset because it looks really similar to this coating, but it's not. This is much smoother. This is super smooth and slick. It doesn't look it, but it is. This is not. This is like flat wall paint kind of slick. So not slick at all. Recon M1, by the way. The small younger brother to this. If you didn't already know. Yeah, I mean, you've got your Volcano thumb studs. They're even on both sides. I really like this style thumb stud. I think it's great. They're easy to remove if you want to put a snaggle tooth on it or some kind of pocket wave. And they work, they work well. They got a nice little edge to them so you can catch your thumb on them. I like them. All right. The lock on this thing is the Cold Steel Triad lock. Still, in my opinion, the greatest lock ever made. For those of you who don't know, it is a back lock system, but it is special. You can see here, there is a stop pin right in here. Normally, your lockback will go directly up against the blade and flat against the back to keep it from moving. The blade hits one side of the stop pin and the lock bar hits the other side of the stop pin, which creates a super, super tough lock that is multiple 10 times stronger than your average back lock. It really is. It's like that much. These knives have no liners. They are all G10. And for those of you that don't think G10 is strong enough, look how thick this G10 is. This G10 is perfectly strong. Go watch the videos where they have where Cold Steel takes their linerless knives and hangs hundreds and thousands of pounds off them before the lock gives out, not before the G10 breaks. So I don't think you need liners when you got thick G10 like this. Just my opinion, but my opinion's fact, as you all know. The Ergos are great. It's a Recon one. It's just a big one. Notice you got lots of grip positions. If you're going to defend yourself with this, you're probably going to hold it here or here. You get some serious reach. Look at all that reach. Very sharp, but just super it's the Recon 1. It's super comfortable. The Recon 1 has always been known to be a super comfortable knife. I like the finger grooves. A lot of people don't. The one thing I don't like about these knives, and it's most Cold Steels, the inside edge of this is like sharp. This isn't because I sanded it on the inside, but I didn't sand this part, and it is like you could cut yourself on it if you dug your finger in and pushed it across. It's really sharp, and when you squeeze a knife real hard, it makes it kind of uncomfortable to your fingers. If your fat of your fingers kind of goes inside here and gets pinched between that sharp edge. So I take some sandpaper. It only takes a minute, but you'd think they would just do it at the factory. Come on, people. So, like I said, the grip and the texture is pretty good. Not as good as the old grip, but still pretty good. I like it. I've always preferred G10 pretty much as a handle material over everything else. The hardware is all T6s, like I said, all the way around. T10 in the pivot. So what is the real-life application for this knife? What are the real-life applications, the RLAs, for this knife? Well, obviously, first and foremost, let's start with what's not super obvious. How about EDC? If you are a ridiculous knife addict like myself, yes, it's actually really good. I've actually really enjoyed it. I've only cut food with it, to be honest, at this point. But a lot of different stuff, fruit, vegetables, bread. It's so sharp. A piece of soft bread, you just let the weight of the blade lay on the bread and just move it back and forth, and it cuts through it like butter. Really, really, really good edge. It comes from the factory with a real nice edge, by the way, but because I'm a weirdo, I run it across a 1,000 grit rod. It's a diamond rod that I have, and then I run it across a 2,000 grit ceramic rod to get a real fine edge, and then I strop it, and it is terrifyingly sharp. So as EDC blade, yeah. It's a good EDC blade. I've used it. I've enjoyed it. And for a lot of people, it's clearly going to be too big. For most people prefer like 3 to 3.5 inch blade. If I can't cut straight through an apple without having to like turn the apple, that's how I judge what I need. I need at least a 4-inch blade. So this is great. Super, not real heavy, 8 ounces. So I put this, as you can see, this is my self-defense Recon 1 XL, which is why the clip is right-hand carry. But you'll notice that I put this on left-hand carry. It's going to go in my left pocket. I'm not going to ever use this for self-defense. I've decided this is going to be just a huge EDC knife, and I love it. How about like a camping, outdoor type knife? Wouldn't be my first choice. I'd rather have like a 5 Max or something. But yeah, there's plenty of videos of people using these things to, baton through logs and shit like that. This knife will do the trick. How about a truck knife? It's a little expensive for me, but if you got lots of money and you got multiple vehicles or whatever, keep one of these in your car is a really good idea. A super tough knife that folds and can be packed away, which would also sort of make it a good like bug out bag knife. Again, you put it in your bug out bag, you're never going to use it. Probably, God willing, you'll never have to use it. So it's sort of a waste. I'm not rich enough for that, but I guess some people might be. What else could you use this knife for? Obviously it's tactical. This is, yes, the main reason this knife was invented was for tactical reasons. This is meant to be a martial knife, a martial blade, or kind of like a tactical first responder work knife, I guess you could say. It's a Recon. It's for the Recon team, for coming up behind sentries and whoosh, cutting their throats. This would work for that, no doubt. So what's the pros and cons of this knife? The pros. The pros are that it's awesome. For me, there's no cons. There might be some for you, but for me, it's all pros. The only cons, I guess, and this is like some serious nitpick, is that I prefer the old grip, and I prefer the old DLC coating, the shiny fingerprint magnet coating that they used to use. But I do like the new coating. It's very smooth. I think it's kind of cool that it's smooth and has a flat look to it. Doesn't make fingerprints as much. And I don't mind this grip at all. It's actually pretty grippy. And with the finger grooves and all that, it's not like it's going to be slippery out of your hand or anything. And G10 has that magic grip thing that it does. Even like smooth G10, when you squeeze it hard, it just locks in. And it's just the way it is. Everything, all the pros. Everything I've said. It's good looking. Oh, and the price. I'd say the price is a pro. It's going to be a con for a lot of you. These are running, the MSRP is like $300 plus, but you'll find these all day for $250. I got this on sale with a clickable coupon because I'm an Amazon Prime member for $183 and something cents. That's ridiculous for this knife. How much would Benchmade charge for this exact knife if they made it? $600? They would probably charge $500 to $600. And I'm not kidding. How much would Spyderco charge for this knife with a big Spidey hole here? Probably $600, right? How much would any company charge? How much would Artisan Cutlery charge for a knife like this? $300? $400? So anyway, even the MSRP is reasonable, but the prices that you'll get it at, you'll rarely see it for more than like $269. It's not cheap. I get it. But for what you're getting, I believe that it is a fair price. Actually, I believe that it's a really good price. You can get the older ones. You can find these. By the way, this was Lynn Thompson's personal knife. I bought it from his collection directly. So yeah, this was actually Lynn Thompson's Recon 1. It was brand new, and he never carried it or anything because it was still brand new in the box. But it was from his collection that he had. Got my little certificate that he signed for me and everything. So on top of being an awesome knife all around, it has that nostalgia for me too because Lynn Thompson's pretty awesome. So yeah, all pros, no cons. So a con to some of you would be the price. Well, I can't afford that. You know what? If you want a big, silly knife, just to have a big, silly knife that's pretty capable, it's a frame lock, so it's not super weak, and it has it's D2 steel, I believe, with a long blade and all that. Get one of these. Get a Strata. I think they're like $70. And they're nice. It's got a nice G10, steel on one side, G10 on the other. You have these copper colored inserts. I think it's a great knife. So this is basically the poor man's version of this. But this knife is this knife can hold 10 times the weight and do 10 times the work that this can. Just saying. So yeah, the price might be high for some of you. The other con for some of you, which is an absolute pro for me, but it could be a con for you, is the size. It's just too damn big. Who's going to carry that ridiculous thing? If that's the case, get the regular size Recon 1. This is the M1 in Magna Cut. Watch my video on this. And this is made in Italy. I don't recommend buying this knife. But they make just a regular Recon 1 in S35VN steel. And all different blade shapes and all that, which is pretty awesome. And if this knife's too big, I highly recommend that knife, which you can pick. The smaller version of this you can grab pretty much all day for under $100, at least on Amazon and places like that. So should you get one of these? Yes, if you can afford it, I'd get it. I hope they come out with different blade shapes. As of now, it's the only blade shape for the Recon 1XL. I'm pretty excited for them to come out with a drop point. If you're listening, Cold Steel, make this in a drop point, and I'll for sure buy it. 100%. So yeah, Recon 1XL, awesome knife. Super happy that they've come out with it again. If you've been crying the blues because you missed the first round, well, now's your chance. So I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks an awful lot for watching and listening to me. Please hit the like button. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Like buttons, comments, all that stuff. You know what they do to the algorithm. And you know how much YouTube hates videos like this that have, oh my God, it's a weapon. I can't believe it. You know how they feel about that. So if anything you could do to help me with the algorithm, I'd really appreciate it. See you next time. EDC Gear Guy out.